Okay, I know that this has happened to all of us.
Yeah.
Do you ever wake up in the morning wondering what all of those bizarre dreams you had meant? Here to help us discover the meanings of our dreams is the fashion guy.
Yeah.
The reason I pause is because he's turned dream reader, which I find a little disconcerting, Mr. Bedhead.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to say this. Now, I know over the weekend there was a big fight on which one of you wanted to get in bed with me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say thanks.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. She's the winner.
Just wanted to... don't be so happy, Michaela. Well, you know, it is true that, you know, you go to bed and then you wake up the next morning and you have this dream and you're like, what the heck did that mean? Well, stop wondering, because I have Kelly Sullivan Walden.
Hi, guys.
Hi,
Kelly.
Hi. Kelly, those are my angels.
I love that.
Who wrote a book called I Had the Strangest Dream, The Dreamer's Dictionary for the 21st Century.
Okay.
Excellent. And she is answering all your dream questions. Now, how did you start in writing this book?
I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist, and I wrote a couple of books for women to help them go from drama queen to goddess queen. And then once you become a goddess queen, you become a dream queen. And then it's about making your dreams come true and helping other people how to do that. So my first two books were called Discover Your Inner Goddess Queen. And
because the girls at the station are goddesses,
like you guys.
and
Exactly.
some of them can be queens. Now,
we all have a little drama.
hey,
That's
just loving my girls, speaking the truth.
Hey.
Michaela, Cher, and Jessica gave you some dreams to look at this weekend, and you want to describe them. Let's start with Michaela. What was Michaela's dream?
Michaela's dream was about, she has a precious little house, and in her dream she sold her house because she was afraid of the market being bad, and she sold it for a condo, and her or not a best friend, but a friend who's a real estate agent disowned her because she bought this condo. So the interpretation of that is you can't, it's about not being run by your fear and not selling out on that which is precious to you just because there's fear all around you. And perhaps next time it's time to make a major decision in your life, consult that part of you that's wiser before doing so, because every character in your dream is an aspect of yourself.
Oh, isn't that interesting? So
Okay.
I read into it that I was taking on other people's anxieties, but you're saying that there was actually some of that anxiety in me that might have been enhanced by the people around me?
Exactly. It's about the literal translation, but it's also about the symbolic translation. You're taking as without, so within.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Is that Michaela? Is that the first time you've had that type of dream?
That type. I have another dream we could talk about. That is that's been. No, it's not even.
Is it of us?
It's no. You know what? Can I share it in part too? I actually, I'm adopted, and and this is actually kind of sad. I used to have a dream for like 20 years of my family driving up the hill with all of our worldly possessions away from me with these clown faces on. As a child, I had this dream for like 20 years. I haven't had it probably for about 10.
Clown pieces. Oh my goodness. Well, then your dreams, oftentimes your dreams are helping you to release your greatest fears, your greatest anxieties, and it's a safe place to do it. So obviously that would be considered a venting dream, a recurring venting dream where you're letting go of part of you that thinks that people could leave you, because obviously who's going to leave you? You're precious. You're beautiful. It would be a clown that would leave you, not a real person.
Exactly. See?
Okay,
Scary clown.
So we have Michaela now.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Cher and what her dream is.
What is inside this girl's head?
I mean, I'm so scared to hear what you have to say about this dream. I dream a lot. A lot. I like 3, 4 at night. I can remember my dreams.
But you had a very unique dream. Tell her about the dream.
The dream that you shared with me, Cher, was you were at a store and you were about to pay for something, and at the moment you paid for something, there was a gigantic earthquake, and your friend fell through the cracks, and you were trying to save your friend.
Oh.
And I saved her, though.
Yes, and you did save her. That's an important piece to remember.
Because you're a superhero in the dream.
Duh, everybody knows that. But one thing that I love about dream interpretation is most people would think an earthquake in a dream, that's foretelling that something bad's going to happen, oh no, and you might be scared for the rest of the day. But actually an earthquake dream is a really great dream because it represents that there's major change happening in your life, transformation. And I personally think that change and transformation is a good thing. It can be. And because that the earthquake happened at the moment that you were paying money, that perhaps represents that there's major change happening with regards to money. And that should be a good thing.
Cher's taking us all for lunch.
Exactly.
You better believe it. If this dream comes true, yes.
There you go. I want 10%. But then also the fact that you saved your friend from falling through the cracks. To me, every character in your dream is you. So you were saved. The heroic part of yourself was saving the more vulnerable part of yourself from falling through the cracks. And you were successful in that. So any part of you that has any financial insecurity, it's like you were reassuring yourself that you're going to be fine no matter what happens.
I like it.
gosh.
I was really freaked out because it was an earthquake and it was so dramatic. And I woke up and I said, I've never had an earthquake dream.
Anchor by day, superhero at night.
I
love it.
But this is why it's important to interpret your
write it
dreams,
down.
because otherwise you'd think, oh no, something bad's going to happen to me, when in fact there's something really
It's a good
good
thing.
is changing and
But you know, this
shaking up.
is interesting because Jessica and I have been suffering through a similar situation.
Yes.
Jessica and I haven't been dreaming a lot. You know, our minds are so mentally overwhelmed and overstimulated by how much work we have, the early hours, getting up, how little sleep we have. What does that mean?
I don't sleep.
Actually, yeah, well, you have to dream, and you have to sleep in order to dream. But I hear this more often than not. Most people say, I don't dream.
Yeah.
So this is, and especially A-type personalities, people that are very work-oriented and driven. However, it's scientifically proven that we all dream between 5 to 9 dreams every night, whether you remember them or not. But I bet you're the type that jumps out of bed first thing in the morning and rushes to brush your teeth and get the day going. And if you don't pause...
Is that true?
I don't. I stare at the wall for 10 minutes before I can move, and that's the
Really?
truth. But you know what? It's just been
a pattern.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be a habit to remember the dream and play it over a couple of times before you get out of bed. Not just focus on what you're going to do that day. But like they say, an unexamined life is not worth living. So an unlived life is not worth examining.
Right.
So it's about having a balance and taking a few moments each morning to remember your dreams, because it's like a fortune cookie each day. It's going to give you some kind of hint about how to handle your day in the most optimum way if you spend a few moments. Even you, Lawrence, busy bee.
Kelly, can I ask you a question? I wonder, have you looked at the idea of deja vu? I know that each of us have had a sense of that. Can you explain? I've been here before in your real life awake time.
Right, and in some cases it's because you've dreamt something the night before or the week before, and then all of a sudden you're experiencing something in your daytime that reminds you of what that dream was. And if you are somebody who pays attention to your dream, you might think, okay, what was the message? What was the gift? What was my dream telling me to do? For example, my mom had a dream about somebody falling off a tractor. She woke up in the morning and then saw a guy on a tractor right in front of the house, which is strange. We don't live on a farm. So she went over and told the guy, you know, this might sound weird. You might think I'm a freak, but
get off.
But she told him I had a dream that somebody fell off a tractor, so you might want to know that. Be really careful. So if you have a deja vu dream, consider that it might be something that you can actually change your fate that day.
And you know what? I have another really quick question. You know, with people like Jessica and Lawrence who can't remember their dreams, do you have a method for them to try and remember their dreams?
That's a good question, yeah.
Yes, it is. And it's pretty simple. First of all, I always tell people to put a little pad and pen right next to your bed. So even in the middle of the night, if I dreamt about an octopus, just write down the word octopus. You don't have to write down every detail. Of course, the more detail you write down, the better. But even if you just write down some of the main words, red, shoes, canoe, that kind of thing, then you wake up in the morning, and all you have to do is look up in the dictionary, you look up what those symbols were, and just like putting a puzzle together, you put those simple little puzzle pieces together, and all of a sudden something's going to start to click. And I tell people, if the symbol that you read in the dream dictionary doesn't feel like it's the right thing for you, of course your intuition always trumps whatever anybody else has written. My book is meant to be a catalyst for you to connect with your own intuition and your own wisdom.
And you know what's great? You know what's great about the book is it is like a dictionary. They have every single word here, like
being chased.
Like for those suffering with hemorrhoids. What? Dreams of hemorrhoid. Hold on. Dreams of hemorrhoids signify that you're holding back your true feelings, sitting on the action you must take, and that you're avoiding coming to terms with unhealthy relationships in your life. So for Sam, for Eric, for Mark, those hemorrhoids do mean something.
They mean something. Perfect.
Yeah, and being chased and like having teeth falling out, those are all things that a lot of people dream about.
Yeah.
Those are snakes.
Yes. Do you guys dream about being chased?
I do.
I have chasing dreams a lot.
If you can remember in your dream, if you can, because I used to dream about being chased all the time, but I remembered to ask the person who's chasing me to see if you can stop and turn around and face it.
No.
Face, embrace,
face
them, embrace them, erase them, and replace them. Because often the thing that's chasing you, it's an aspect of yourself that you've disassociated yourself from. It's a shadow aspect that really probably has something important to tell you, but the package is just not that appealing. You think they're going to try to kill you, but they're not.
And we could go through this entire dictionary for hours. I want to thank Kelly Sullivan Walden.
Thank you,
Go get
Kelly.
the Dream Dictionary.